All right, welcome back, guys. It's Anthony Chansamu from Confidentpreneur.com, and I have with me a good mate of mine, Mario Pirotta, down in Melbourne, Victoria. For those of you who don't know where that is, it's the southern part of Australia, and a really great guy. And we're going to talk about the growth potential, which is Mario's business, and also the amazing work that he's doing with actually helping people break through challenges in their business, health, and in their lives. So Mario, welcome to the show, and really an honor to have you on the show today, mate.
Thanks, Anthony.
Cool. All right. So let's get into a bit of background of who Mario is, because I know you've had, I guess, a vast array of experience in different industries. So was there ever a day where you actually had a day job? Let me ask you that first question first, and then how did you get into business?
Yeah, that was quite some time ago, to be honest with you, Anthony. Back in 1996, I started my first full-time position as a consultant in the area of organisational psychology, working on human performance and behavioural finance. I was with Accenture, who were previously at that time known as Anderson Consulting. So one of the top 5 consulting firms in the world.
Fantastic. Okay, so a lot of people who are on this show or listening to this can relate, having been in the corporate environment. So what made you actually shift out of that and then pursue your own business ventures and move into, I guess, becoming your own boss?
Well, it's funny you say that, because when I first started with Accenture, I always wanted to be a partner, and that was basically the carrot that was dangling in front of me, and most of my colleagues wanted the same thing. But when the tech crash occurred, unfortunately, the area I was in was one that was let go first. So I had a choice. I could either stay on and do something completely different, or I could be paid out and move on. And it was something that I always wanted to do. Working with CEOs, senior management, and executives, they rub off on you. They have that entrepreneurial flair about them, about money and about ideas. And I thought, you know what? I thought, why not give it a go? And so I ventured off and set up my own finance business, creating wealth for clients.
So what do you see, or what do you understand as to be why people get stuck, or why is it they come across fear of failure or success, or whatever is it that's stopping them?
Well, there are a number of different perspectives, and I went through, like everyone else, despite my background, a lot of the different stages, I guess. Working as an employee, you're delivering value for your client at that point in time, but you don't have to worry about when the next lot of work is coming. And also, that every fortnight or every month or whenever you get paid, there's going to be a check or some money landing in your bank account. So for me, that was the first hurdle, in terms of getting over that mindset. And that was really, really big, going from certainty to uncertainty. It's the fear of the unknown, I think, is the biggest challenge, particularly when I was going to a field where I had experience, but not directly in the sales part of the process. It was more about fulfillment and delivery is what I did, whereas I actually now had to be in charge of marketing, sales, and fulfillment, and that was a big challenge.
So then what could you advise to people who are looking to do the transition similar to what you have? What strategies or suggestions would you have for someone to be able to make the transition, to make the leap, if it's a leap, or it depends how you view it, and to be able to work through those steps? What are some, if it was Mario, if you were, okay, I like to ask this question. If you met yourself, okay, so if had the ability to travel back in time, and you met yourself 10 years ago, or whenever you first started your first business, what advice
Yeah.
would Mario today give to that person in terms of going out there and doing it?
Well, it's all about probability, and I guess it's just making sure that you have a plan B/plan C. And I'm always a person of choice. I like choices. I like the ability, the flexibility to be able to, if something doesn't work out, and the best ideas, I mean, they're good ideas, but sometimes for whatever reason, whether it's market timing or whether, a bit of bad luck or just misreading, the clientele or the market. Having a plan B for me was the biggest thing, because at the end of the day I thought I'll give it a go for a year. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be that much more attractive as an employee, because now I've got a year's worth of skill that I never had before and that my colleagues never had, because they were always employees. So for me, really, it's all about, one, having that plan B, and two, giving it 110%. And what I mean by that is willing to sacrifice a lot to make a success out of it. So my first 2 years, effectively, I had no life. I was working 7 days a week. If I wasn't seeing clients, I would be studying and learning and trying to mingle with people who know a lot more than what I do. And from that perspective, that really, really cemented the foundation for my business. And I'm doing the same thing with the growth potential. Putting 110% into it, really trying to understand the psychology of my clientele, of the market. And again, I've got my plan B. If for whatever reason it doesn't work, hey, I've given it a go, and I've got my wealth creation business that I can fall back on. So I guess I'm quite fortunate in that respect. And I think that for me was something that was truly rock solid in my mind. I think the third element, when you think about it now, is, at the risk of sounding crude, is head down, ass up. Okay? So you just got to be willing to do everything. I remember when I first started, a lot of advisors would basically want to get existing client bases and work off that. I never had that privilege because I was starting from scratch. I never belonged to a big practice who had thousands and thousands of clients I could just simply ring up. So what did I do? I got dressed up in my suit, put on my Blundstones, gumboots type thing, and went out on work sites and basically knocked on doors, and basically tried to sell my services to people who I thought would really want and need what I had to offer. And that's the likes of, income protection, tax deductions, retirement planning, estate planning, wealth creation, all of these things which, as a business person, it's important, but you get consumed in what you do. And you need someone to help you move forward.